All right. Welcome back to the podcast, episode 493. We're excited to be here. We are missing one of our people, Tyler. He got rabies from a beaver. We didn't see it coming, but that poor beaver gave him some form of a disease. So we hope you get better, buddy. Get better soon.
Get well soon.
We miss you.
Don't let the beaver get you down. All right. So we'll see. What do we want to start off with? Jontay Porter getting banned from the NBA for betting, doing $15 bets on DraftKings. They're the ones that ratted him out. He only made like 20 grand, but still betting. He was betting on the Raptors to lose on one bet. Come on, man. You gotta be smarter than that, right? Bet on somebody else to lose besides your team, and you might be all right.
I mean, if you're going to bet, you might as well go big or go home. You're going to get, it's going to be the same outcome. There's no worse outcome than getting banned.
It's when you're the guy off the bench on your team. Like, come on, bet on your brother's team to lose. Your brother's in the league. You wouldn't get in any trouble if you did that. But you bet on yourself or your own team to lose, you're kind of causing the problem. You know what I mean?
But he'd still get in trouble.
Well, not as much. The court of public opinion wouldn't get him. It would just be
He would have got banned regardless.
Yeah.
When you're betting on yourself, that's bad. Yeah, like that's the worst. If you're gonna get a lifetime ban, it'll be for that. But honestly, the one good thing that he did is he made a name for himself, because I had no idea who the guy was until he bet. Right?
Spot on, dude. I had no idea who that guy was. If you would have told me he was a basketball player or if he worked at Chick-fil-A, I wouldn't have known the difference. I would have believed you.
Not a clue.
Yeah. Right. But he went through his buddy's account, so it wasn't like he went on there under his name and did it, but still, man. Bet on somebody else. How
did he get caught? How did he? Is like he was using his friend's account, but how did they know it was him? Do you know? Like, was his credit card hooked to it, or?
Because I don't know how he got busted with it, but I think just through investigations, because he's a no-name player. Nobody knows who he is, and he was doing prop bets on himself. If you're betting on yourself to hit three-pointers and you don't hit them and they're big amounts and nobody else is betting on you, just this one account that's betting on you because nobody else knows you, you're going to get busted.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yep.
So yeah, I'm sure DraftKings has some sort of system, like any bet over like 20 grand, 10 grand, they're going to investigate. I think probably regardless, to be honest.
Yeah. That and anybody with weird odds. Like if you're a nobody player and someone starts coming in and laying bets down on you, it's gonna raise some form of a red flag. They're gonna try to find you and figure out what the hell's going on. It's the other gamblers want to bust you out because you're changing the lines. You're betting on things that you shouldn't. You're changing the lines, so the gamblers will call you out. So if you're gonna bet on yourself, just bet like $1 at a time, I guess, every day for a year. And just keep on hitting
it. Keep the wagers low.
Bet on stuff like, are you going to trip and fall coming out of the locker room? Like some weird ass prep, some weird prop bet that's like, it's 500 to 1 odds, and you put $1 down and win it. You know, do something like that.
Yeah,
not 3 points and stuff. But hey, man, we salute you. You're out of the league now, so you're going to be hanging out at casinos trying to make money back because you lost all your money. Good job, buddy. Keep up the good work.
He'll be at the local YMCA. He'll be playing pickup basketball, betting on 3-pointers, and going from there. You know,
betting on high school basketball games and stuff like that. But
right,
yeah.
But come on, let's be real for a second. If he was sitting in the stands, sitting next to you, and was like, "Hey, you want to throw 20 down on this game?"
Yeah, just to say I did it.
I'll spice it up a little bit, even if I don't know the dude. But it's, just to spice it up, make it a little funner, put a little skin in the game. Right. I may throw 20 down with the guy. I don't know. But good for him.
So is Michael Porter Jr., is that his brother then? I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I know he has a brother in the league, yeah.
He's good.
Yeah.
He's good.
And
he is good.
He's doing better he was doing better than his brother was. So
by far
better than this dude who got kicked out. So
yeah, I feel like they made an example of him, man. Like lifetime ban. They set precedents. They're making sure that not everybody's just going to be out there trying to get around the system and do all that stuff. I like it. I think it's a power move. So
you go from baseball that's betting, you got translators betting, to this. Like, they're gonna make some examples here. They're gonna get some people. Somebody's got to go. That's the easy one. Not your newest star in baseball. An attraction that's bringing people to the stadium. You may not pick on him, but this dude who's riding the bench and betting on himself, yeah, let's get rid of him. Let's make an example.
Right.
Speaking of basketball, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna end it and say I'm happy with it too. I think it was a good move by the NBA.
Yeah.
Because once they start letting it get out of control, that's when it's just going to be there's going to be problems. So I'm happy they drew the line where they needed to draw it
before it turns into like Michael Jordan in The Last Dance, where they're like throwing quarters and stuff like that. They went ahead and got it out of the way. Good for them.
Yep.
I was going to switch gears and go to Caitlin Clark. Speaking of basketball, she's the big news this week when it comes to basketball. When it comes to her contract, she got a 4-year, $338,000 contract. She can't even buy a house in a working class neighborhood right now with that money. That's 4 years salary. She's making $76,000 a year. And that's great money. Well, not great money. That's really good money if you're a working man working 40 hours a week. But you've worked your whole life to do this, and she's so gifted, like so gifted, and that's what they pay her. That hurts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's odd because she's famous. Like she's very famous at this point. She's like the face of women's basketball. It's like the new Brittany Griner. Yeah. But I mean, if the WNBA played every semi-famous, if they paid every semi-famous female basketball player, they'd be bankrupt. They wouldn't even be around. They're already subsidized, so, you know what I mean? They can't do it. It is kind of funny to see, like, I look at her contract and I'm like, sweet, I make more money than Caitlin Clark until she gets her endorsements.
Whatever, man. When Nike comes in and gives you that check, you're good. But yeah, but the WNBA though, like I was looking into that, their revenue that they generate. So this is gross revenue. They generate $200 million, which that's awesome. But the NBA is 10 billion with a B, right? So when they're like, oh my God, last year's rookie got 55 million for 4 years, she gets 300,000. They generated 2% of the income that the NBA generated of all their teams. Their 30 teams. That's 2%. So 98% better. Come on, man.
Right.
But
I would like to know like the percentage of like the profit share that the women's get compared to the men. You know what I mean? Like if they made $200 million, like what percentage is getting paid directly out to the players compared to the NBA? Because I would venture to say that the women basketball players are getting paid a higher percentage of the profits.
I'd say so too.
They are. Yeah, I want to say they are because it's almost like they're going to stretch to make payroll on some things. Right. You know what I mean? Where it comes a little easier with the NBA, but it sucks because you're not getting paid based off your skill level. Like any other industry, you get paid based off your skill level. If you were a welder and you were a really good welder, you would get really good welder money. But the fact is that it's the women's and men's league, so it turns into the women get paid less because that girl is a baller. Like that girl, she's got the skills. And compared to, it doesn't matter if she's a woman. I could fall walking up steps. I'm nowhere close to the athletic level of that girl. You know what I mean? She is next level. She could shoot the lights out over a lot of dudes. Maybe not defense wise, and maybe she could play defense on them. But you get Draymond Green down there, and he's hard fouling you. Like I've seen him punch. He'll punch a grown man in the face and intimidate him. Like it's going to happen. You don't want to be on that one. But getting paid for a skill set compared to getting paid like on commission, You know, I grew up in the body industry, the auto body industry, and we got paid on commission based off what we could generate. So if you look at that, she's hitting her numbers, but it just sucks because there's so many dudes in the NBA that aren't that good that are going to make more than her just based off of the fact she can't join their team.
No, yeah, it's a tricky situation. I don't think that I don't think you can look at it in the sense of like her skill set versus a guy's skill set. It's just the WNBA and the NBA are just two separate organizations, and people want to look at it and try to compare it. Oh, girls are getting paid less than guys, but if you have to look at it in a macro point of view and think like these are two businesses.
Right.
They're two businesses. You look at it like any other business. Like if I was starting a business and I was making a lot more, my business was generating a lot more money. I'm going to be making a lot more money than if you started a business and your business makes 10% compared to mine. And it's just, and it does suck. I mean, it really does suck that it's girls versus guys. But that's just the way it is. And I don't think it sucks saying that too. It's hard to say that. And that makes a lot of people mad saying that too.
Yeah.
But it's not like, it's such a hard conversation because it's not like it's a sexist type of thing. It's just kind of how the world has evolved, I guess. I don't know.
It's just not as fun to watch. I mean, it's not, but I mean, players like Caitlin Clark will definitely make it better. Like,
right.
Well, I don't think it's relatable. That's the problem.
No, it's not.
Is when you're watching it, you don't feel like, man, I'm the next Caitlin Clark. Like when you watch LeBron play, you're like, man, I can move like him. When I was in my prime, I moved like him. And you don't, but you feel relatable to that person, but you don't feel relatable to a Caitlin Clark because you're not built like that. It's built there, even though she's more athletic than, like I said, she's very gifted athletically, but you know, she
reminds me of Steph Curry. I think she plays like Steph Curry.
Yeah.
She's pulling up from half court. She's launching it. She's entertaining to watch. She really is.
Yeah.
But she made me watch.
Yeah. Right. That's a great point because I didn't even watch last year with Angel Reese and all those who came through. I didn't really, it started building up a little bit with me then, but I didn't watch it until Caitlin Clark got going, and she's in the Big Ten, so that made it even more exciting because you know, being from Columbus, it's like, oh, okay, that's cool. You know, so
yeah, and hopefully that there are more players like Caitlin Clark, and it draws more attention to women's basketball. That'd be the goal, because she's generating more money, and just by herself. So if you can get like 5 to 10 more players like Caitlin Clark, then I mean, the WNBA and women's college basketball is going to be looking pretty good.
And how many girls feel motivated now because they know there's an outcome. They know there's somewhere they can go where, you can go play your heart out and you're not going to make it that far because there's just not a supply and demand for it. Where how many girls are going to feel motivated now that like, hey, there's something more now. And Caitlin Clark, I don't know how smart she is with basketball. She seems very intelligent with it, that like in the long run, she could be a coach. She could do other things than just play basketball. So I hope she does open the door for him and gets it going. And I hope they pay her. Like if she's after her 4-year contract's up, I hope they pony up and give her some. But I don't know how much Indiana makes in women's basketball. They may make nothing. But the jersey sales have got to go up, right? I haven't looked to see where they're at, but there's got to be tons of jersey sales out there for her right now.
She's bigger, in my opinion. She's bigger than women's basketball at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if her jersey sales alone surpass any other female, like every other player in the entire WNBA. I bet she'll sell more jerseys than all of them. And Angel Reese, she's pretty famous now too, man. Like she's getting up there. I think they're both going to be fairly good for women's basketball, like drawing people to at least go check it out, go watch it. Viewership will probably go up, and that's all good.
Do you think Angel Reese feels like Carmelo Anthony did when him and LeBron came out, where Carmelo Anthony was an awesome player, but this kid named LeBron comes out of nowhere and steals all his thunder, like all of it.
Right. She might in a way. Like she just kind of strikes me as the type of person that's like, really into the fame part. Just hearing her talk a couple of times, she strikes me as the person that wants to be like number one, the star, and so she might kind of have a little resentment towards Caitlin Clark for kind of stealing the show altogether. But I think she's probably doing fine when it comes to endorsements and deals that she's got and stuff too. So she's doing good.
Yeah, good point. Good point. There's a couple other girls that came out of this draft too that I'm not. I wish I was better at it, but I'm not. But there's a couple girls that came out that's going to make that league more competitive. Like get it going, get it competitive, and then when the All-Star games come around, let's do some girls versus guys, or let's sprinkle them in with it. Like let's have it all together, man. Let's call it out. And I mean, they don't play deep. They're not playing rough defense in the All-Star game. You know what I mean?
No.
But
there's defense in the All-Star game?
I think that's what it's called. I don't know. But, I mean, if you're just out there shooting it out, I mean, she'd be perfect for that. She's hitting volleyball lines and hitting half-court shots. Her and Dame Leonard's going to be out there just kicking it back and forth. But, at least then it'll kind of put to bed the argument if there is a reason why you can't compare them to the two for being great, No,
yeah. I mean, I think of it this way. If I was in Indiana 2 years ago and you asked me if I wanted to go to one of their women's basketball games, I'd be like, no. But now, I mean, if you asked me, and Caitlin Clark's playing tonight, hey, would you want to get these tickets? I'd be like, okay.
If you would have asked me a couple years ago, I would have been like, Indiana has a basketball team? A female one? That's weird. Huh. How long has that been around?
Are they playing the West Jeff Gym, or is it?
They're playing in your local YMCA tonight.
Yeah.
That's what it would feel like.
Yeah.
Man, have you guys seen the creepy reporter that, like, he was interviewing her and they called on him and he was like, gave her the heart sign and she's like, what is that? Like, what are you doing?
What?
Because that's her sign. She does that. She's always doing like the heart sign. And he did it and she's like, what are you doing? And he was like, oh, I do that to my daughters and my family after every game. We like it. It's cool. And she was totally freaked out by it. Like what?
Well, I mean, the dude was being creepy then, I'm assuming.
Yeah, and he's like a local reporter.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says the local Indiana reporter flashed a heart sign at Clark, who pointed out that it was something she does for her family at every game. Doyle told that former Iowa star, if you start doing that to her, then they get along just fine. You were just given the keys to that. What are you going to do with it? Doyle asked.
Yeah, it was real creepy. The way he was asking it and everything was creepy.
Off the stage and immediately got a protection order. Like, just right off the bat. She's like, I don't want him trying to come after my $330,000.
I can't afford I can't afford security. Someone better do something.
Do you guys know what's her endorsements like money wise? And she's got to be doing really good.
3.1 is what it said. Nike, Xfinity, and State Farm.
State Farm.
Yeah, it's 3.1 mil.
We've seen that commercial about 1 million times.
Right.
They're gonna
ride that. They pay good money for it. They're gonna use it. There was another Antonio Brown, the football player.
Mm-hmm.
He was like trolling her on Twitter or X or whatever, and she had to block him. And then he like posted like, "Yeah, she blocked me, haha!" Like posted pictures of it. And he was like, "I'm blocked by Tom Brady, her, and Joe Biden." You're feeling real tough then, man.
Yeah, that's a whole nother topic, man. CTE is real. Like,
yeah.
That man's off his rocker. He's not normal. Like, he is not normal. I can tell you the moment it happened. It was when he cried. Like he ran like a 10-yard in, and Vontez Perfect just took his head off, and then now Antonio Brown's on Twitter and taking his shirt off and running up and down the sideline.
I remember that hit.
Oh, me too. Yeah, I'll never forget it. I still say it cost us a Super Bowl, but we lost to the Broncos the next game by like 7, and he was out. And I'm like,
yeah,
there it was. That's the year the Broncos won it.
I just remember I remember the whole situation escalated quickly after I don't know what year it was, but when he just kicked that punter right in the face on that kick return.
Yeah,
he just stomped his like
that. He
how does
judo
that go
kicked
through
him
your
right
mind?
in the face mask. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I
Never-
watched that live. I was jumping up and down. I was pumped. As a Steelers fan, it's great to see.
Remember, he
was insane.
He just took his shirt off and was flicking everybody off, and like dude's something else, man. He was talking shit to Tom Brady and his wife, like
yeah, he was like talking
real shit to his wife. Like,
did you see? He posted a picture of him like hugging Giselle.
Yeah,
hugging Giselle after like the Super Bowl or something. Like, so he like, I don't know if it was edited, but he posted it and was like, "What's up, Tom?" Like, and you're like, man,
his face on Tom Brady's body, like hugging his wife.
That's what it might have been that, but and yeah, all of a sudden Tom and Giselle got a divorce. So
weird.
Maybe substance. I'm just kidding.
What'd you do with AB?
Right. He's like, we're done. No.
Right.
Oh,
poor guy. Poor fella.
Sir Caitlin Clark, when he's making fun of her, or
I don't know. I tried to look it up to see like what he said that was so bad, but there was nothing out there that I could find. Are you Googling it, Caleb?
Trying to.
Yeah. But she ended up blocking him.
Yeah, that's what I see. Blocking him.
He just kind of dives into random topics on social media frequently. I think that's like how he stays relevant at this point.
Yeah.
Like, I'm serious. I feel bad for him. I really do think he's got a lot of issues, and I think it's probably from football. Like, you're laughing. What is it? What is it?
I'm reading through this. It says, but most rolled their eyes at the post, including Clark, who straight up blocked the former Tampa Bay player. Brown, though, still attempted to troll her Thursday, calling her cracker of the day while sharing a screenshot of her blog.
I knew it was something like that. Cracker of the day is what he called her. And she's got to deal with that, you know, and it's not just, and that's just the famous people that did it. But how many other people are like, you know, sitting at home just trolling her? Like somebody who has no life, just trolling this girl. We only pay attention because AB's famous. We know he's crazy.
Right.
But there's probably a lot of shit in her social media that's like, what the hell was that?
I think it's safe to say at this point, he's the only person to be blocked by Tom Brady, Joe Biden, and Caitlin Clark.
Dude, I gotta ask because I haven't heard. What did Joe Biden block him for? Or, I'm sorry, what did whoever handles Joe Biden's account block him for?
Hold on, let me find it.
I gotta know.
I can only imagine. Like what? I got like a million jokes I want to say, but who knows?
Yeah.
He probably didn't know what Twitter was.
No.
There he goes again. He tweeted something along the lines of "Check this cracker for CTE," talking about President Biden.
I don't know if I want to get political on here, but that's funny.
That's good. No, that's good.
He's like, trust me, I know CTE when I see it. It's definitely over there.
Brown continued to attack Biden, sharing a photoshopped image of himself in football gear, kicking Biden into the turf.
Is it from like the punter that he got?
I think so. Let me try to look that up. And then he quoted that post, "Cracker of the day."
Dude,
I'm not kidding.
I don't have Twitter, or X or whatever, but I might have to get it back. That's hilarious. That's funny. Just to follow Antonio Brown.
I think that's a good place to end it at. You cracker of the days. We're gonna have to. I think that's a good place to stop it.
What
you guys think?
So.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
That's perfect.
All right, sounds good. All right, everybody. Peace.
That was a hot mess inside a dumpster fire, inside a train wreck.